Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Poltergeist variant of Dusclops in the single type cup. We're going to have here of course a team that's going to be a double ghost line, which can lead into some issues with like Umbreon, so we have an answer for that one as well. Well, we're going to start here off with a pretty horrific lead of the Clefable into a Machamp there. We're going to see that the opponent is going to stay in here, which kinda shows me that they're most likely pretty weak against Poltergeist. Otherwise they wouldn't really stay in here, otherwise they would go into their normal type Pokemon or into their Umbreon or anything like this. So here we're going to be able to go for one Shadow Ball now. A little bit overfarmed. We should be able to now knock out the opponent here, and we're going to have still one shield left on our side and one shield left on the opponent's side, and we're gonna get our Machamp, allowing us to go for one Dark Pulse still, which is going to get the shield from the opponent because it could have been also the Shadow Ball. I think I would have also been able to get there, but I didn't know. But now we're going to get out now the Machamp here, and we see that they're going to have a double fighter backline, and because he swapped out as well, we were able to now get to the cross chop in time, knocking out the Surf Edge and also knocking out the Machamp with our own Machamp. So first game so far so good. Let's take a look at the next game here. We're going to have the Machamp against a Dragonair. What would you do here? I would at least stay in, go for one cross chop, and then maybe go for one more fast move and then try to swap. Most people don't go straight for the charge move after this here because they expect the swap. This person did. So great on them, definitely great play by them, because now I'm kind of forced to swap out because I don't get to another move, but in comes now a 9 heals. With 9 heals, it's actually kind of interesting because the one shield scenario is pretty decent for your Poltergeist, and here we were lucky that the opponent didn't throw a thing because they also had the same leg that we had here, and we were able to now realign our Pokemon, get a charge move off against this Dragonair, let this charge move go through from the Dragonair as well. They're definitely gonna get to one. I can just farm them down at this point of time. I can just farm them down with my Dusclops most likely here, gonna get a ton of energy, and in comes in the back there, we will never find out. We don't know what they're going to have in the back, but most likely something pretty weak to us. So, next opponent, horrific lead again here with a Poltergeist, which is still going to be okay for us as we can swap out here and at least align our own Poltergeist against the opponent's one. So we're going to be able to now do some damage, but now they're going to swap out, and yeah, this is not really looking too good for us. Great play by the opponent though for staying in first, trying to get a shield, and now putting me into a matchup which I cannot win either. So that was a great play by them, but so far so hard countered. There's something that you're going to see quite often in the single type cup anyway. There's basically, I feel like at least, no team that's completely safe. There are like double ground teams now, there are double poison lines now, there are double fighting types now, there are double fairy lines as well, but also like ghost lines with like an ABB style here like ours. There are so many different kind of ABB lines. For example, also I recently played the rock version with ABB. ABB rock was kind of funny. But here we're going to now, of course, have a line that seems to be pretty decent against us. We predicted here, by the way, that they're going to have a Vigoroth in the back. Like this, if I win CMP, I might still be able to win the game, but I don't win CMP, even though I have a little bit higher attack stat here, which is kind of sad. But yeah, I predicted a different Pokemon in the back. It wasn't the Pokemon, and so we lost against this opponent. Next opponent, I think this game kind of triggered me a little bit. We're going to have here actually a pretty okay matchup so far, but okay, now we gotta get kind of hard wall to be fair. We're going to have a Charmeleon against our fighting type in the lead. We're going to have a Say Swap here of a Sand Slash, which is a non-shadow, which has access to the move Night Slash, which is going to do a ton of damage against us and gonna two-shot us. So not really the greatest lead here, but you're going to see why I'm kind of upset about myself most likely more. Of course, the opponent going to try to go for one Earthquake here right now, which is the best play for them to go for. They will not get to any other charge move here, so that was smart. And I decide here, oh, it's fairly likely the opponent going to shield the rock side here, which most likely would have one-shot them. But no, they don't, and now we're going to have a cross chop, we resisted onto a Grand Ball. And luckily, the one thing that really saves me here is that the opponent going to let this move go through. If they didn't do this, I had no chance of winning this. Like if they just stayed in there, went for one, like for a crunch for example, went for more charm, it would have been so much more difficult basically. Like this, we're going to have now the Donphan onto our Dusclops while having still enough health on our Dusclops that they have to go for the Earthquake here. And even if they had 100 energy here, there is literally no play for them as we still have a cross chop now here, and that's going to knock them out. But again, I could have played so much better. It would have been so easier if I just went ahead and went for the rock side there and just knocked out the opponent. But I'm always going to go for the a little bit riskier play, I feel like, so yeah, that's not really ideal. What's also not really ideal is Poltergeist against us here in the lead. Of course, there will be some kind of hard counters like this, and there's not a lot that you can really do about this here. We will still be able to go for at least one Dark Pulse to get the shield from the opponent, and we're going to see that they go straight for their move. I'm going to actually shield this move up as well, because I kind of want to get my Rodriguez low enough, and I'm just going to go ahead and go for my charge move now before they can farm me all the way down. And they're going to let this move go through, which is a weird play because they're going to have the Machamp now in the back, and I can go for the Dark Pulse, which is going to most likely get the shield again because they want to keep the Machamp around. And now we have our Dusclops here, and Dusclops can take those Rock Slides super easy. And honestly, you're going to see here already, it's not a Rock Slide, it's a payback. And I made a huge mistake. I made a mistake by going into my Machamp here right now. I should have went first for one Ice Punch, then go into my Machamp. Because, as you're going to see now maybe still, no, we don't ever actually see it. But if they had something weak to Machamp in the back, I still had an easy chance to win this game if I just went for the Ice Punch first. So this was, again, a misplay by me, which is fine. Here we're going to have the Surf Edge. I'm going to get some extra energy and then swap out. They have, of course, access to the move Night Slash here. It's not a Brave Bird, they need one more fast move for the Brave Bird. But in comes now the Lickitung. You have to keep your fighter around. For those Pokemon here, for those normal type Pokemon, and Lickitung is most likely the worst possible Pokemon to face here right now. I will be able to go for another Dark Pulse against them, which will get a ton of damage onto them, but you're going to see me do a real play here. I'm gonna not go ahead and go into my Machamp, I'm gonna go ahead and go into my Dusclops, because the opponent has so much energy right now, they have to get rid of some of that. Because if I don't get rid of some of the energy that the opponent has, there's basically no way of me winning this game here. As you're going to see now, the opponent going for the shield. And as you're going to see as well right now, they're going to go ahead and go for the Body Slam, go into their Surf Edge, which I can farm down in time. And they're going to go back into their Lickitung. So they might be weak against our Machamp in the back, and they're definitely weak against our Machamp in the back. And we're going to now see what they're going to have in the back after this Ice Punch going to land, after they're going to go for one Power Whip here right now. And as you might expect already, is it a hard counter again? Is it something that we can just destroy with a one Poltergeist? It is a hard counter. It's literally the Umbreon. He just went up against the Surf Edge, which is a neutral lead against my lead, and then basically two hardest counters for our Ghost types in the back. There was literally nothing I could have done in that battle, but those hard counter lines are just, yeah, a thing right now. Like, they are pretty common, to be fair. Or like in general, like there's always kind of hard counter like currently around for any other team as well. It's a fairly RPS style cup in my opinion right now, because like there are just so many different kind of ABB lines that a lot of people are running, like myself here, that it is kind of, I don't know, there's not really anything that really breaks it in my opinion. But yeah, we're going to have here now at least another Dark Pulse coming through against the opponent, going to do some pretty decent damage here. As you're going to see that they're going to go ahead and go for their Bodos here, because it's exactly what they had to go for, but I can farm them down with my Machamp. I have a shield advantage at this point of time, and we're gonna see the Dragonair coming in, and I was able to swap perfectly onto my Dusclops. Getting a move through, it is only the Body Slam which is going to be double resisted, and now the Ninetales comes in. I think I can just go straight for the Poltergeist at this point of time. This should one-shot them, and we have a shield advantage, we have energy advantage. There's nothing that the opponent can do. We generate more energy than the opponent with their fast move, and as you're going to see here right now, I will try to go, of course, for another charge move here with my Dusclops, as this is going to be my best play of winning this game, and I lose a CMP tie onto the Poltergeist. I had energy advantage, I had shield advantage, and I still was not able to get to the move in time. I find it kind of wild, to be fair. Yes, of course, Poltergeist is a very high energy move, and honestly, Poltergeist itself is a pretty bad charge move. Like, this move should have been way stronger in my opinion. There's nothing that really, like, holds it back, to be fair. Like, yeah, okay, you're going to have this move as well in the community Pokemon of Chandelure, but this Pokemon also doesn't really benefit too much of it, and, like, it rather runs Shadow Ball. So I really don't understand why they made Poltergeist so bad and such high energy for not even the craziest damage. I really don't get it, to be fair. And I wish also that Hex gonna get buffed. But if Hex gonna get buffed, you also would need to nerf Surf, because otherwise Jellicent would be too strong. And yeah, that would be honestly the thing that I would like to see in the next move update in general. I would love to see a Hex buff for something like Dusclops, for something like Drifblim, which are usually kind of underperforming. And also giving like some kind of option other than like Shadow Claw for any Ghost type Pokemon would be very nice. But then you have to definitely nerf Surf, which would definitely impact also Lantern, which is a good thing because Lantern is too broken. And also, though Kyogre, which is kind of not really a broken Pokemon for the Master League, so that's kind of a little bit of a bummer. But there's not something that you really can like do otherwise for the Lantern. You kind of have to nerf Surf, in my opinion. But yeah, this was a nice win for us, which was really good to see here. So you're going to see now the next opponent coming up here with a Dragonair in the lead. Shadow Dragonair against Shadow Machamp. Again, we're going to go for one cross chop first. forcing the shield from the opponent is always kinda nice, as they're going to be able to take those charge moves a little bit easier now. Go for Grievous, we try to catch the body slam, which I not went for. And now they're going to go ahead and go for most likely 2 awkward tails here. I'm going to no shield the first one, but I'm going to shield the second one. And we kinda got them into farm down range here right now, but they're most likely going to swap out now into their double, which is not really ideal. But at least I'm going to still get some damage onto the opponent, and they are forced to go for the payback here, which is going to do a ton of damage, knock us out most likely afterwards, but we're still going to get them into farm down range for our Machamp, and hopefully they're going to have something weak in the back to Machamp. As we're going to see now the payback coming through, I'm going to go for 1 counter with my Machamp, and then I'm going to swap out onto the charge move from the double here, going to be the body slam, going to do no damage, and they're going to stay in here of course, and I can go for the ice punch to knock out the opponent, which is fairly decent for me right now, because I even get some extra energy with that, as you see here right now. And we're gonna get out the Muk. And I'm pretty sure I will be able to survive on charge move from the Muk, but do they also survive on Poltergeist? Boom, gonna do a ton of damage there, which is something that I actually didn't expect that I would do that much against the Muk, but very nice here, as the Dark Pulse is going to do also some pretty decent damage. I will be able to shield up the next charge move, and I can swap out into my Machamp, which will counter down the opponent there, and also the Dragonair is going to go down here. Good game there. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to have a Hypno in the lead. This is honestly most likely my favorite game that I played here. We had a horrible lead here. We're going to have also a horrible Say-Swap Force with the Clefable, but we were able here to get some extra energy because we swapped like in a weird spot against the Hypno, allowing us to get basically 3 Force moves for free in there. And this will allow us now to, well, after the leg, at least going to be able to outspeed the opponent here, I think, for a charge move. But they're actually going to go ahead and go straight for that one, which is something that forced me to shield. It's going to be a Meteor Mash. I thought it would only be a Meteor Mash, but I wasn't sure. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball right now. This does knock out the opponent. Now we can at least align. And we're going to see the Registeel coming in. I know already the other Pokemon from the opponent. So for me right now, my Machamp has no value. I don't get it aligned against the Registeel anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and now swap it into the Registeel onto the charge move. Soaking the Zapcan here, so you're going to get the Hypno out now. And now it's all down to our Dusclops here. Dusclops has to carry this game. And Dusclops has to really carry against the Hypno. I just have to hope they are not running Shadow Ball on this Pokemon, which they do, and they're definitely gonna get us pretty low here. But what we can do here is right now we can go ahead and go for the Ice Punch, which is gonna get the final shit of the opponent, and I can try to go for another one, but the opponent gonna throw before, which is even better for us. Revealing the final move, which is going to be the Thunder Punch. I can overfarm by quite a bit here, go for my Dark Pulse to knock out the opponent, and I still have enough health and enough energy left to outspeed the opponent's Registeel for sure onto the Shadow Ball. And this is going to be a very good game here, and this is going to be also it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video, also subscribe if you haven't already. There are 2 videos on the screen, check them out if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.